pull this up. I think we went live, more than likely. And what I'm doing here, let's go into UV editing. I was able to unwrap all the sections. This is the best that I could get it. Yeah. Yeah. That's great. I would put it another way, but it probably wouldn't work. Let me just... We're gonna cut out the window capture. And just do a flat out display. There we go. Oop. Yeah, works for me. So what I'm doing here is kind of making like a street light thing. And I want to see how well this works, putting my own textures into it. So there's a couple different ways that I could do this. Street light. I'm thinking like 2 lights, but stuff is usually LED now. And I want to put it into the Unreal Engine just to see how it holds up. I don't see it being a problem, but I gotta install the Unreal Engine. I just realized that. So with this light that I made, let's go into layout. And this is just in Blender, again, totally untextured. We made this from scratch. This was actually pretty simple, because when you start up, you get a box, G on the, no, Y. And all that I did was pretty simply just took the edges, I beveled them, and then I beveled them again, but yeah, I think it was all of them that I beveled. And that one's a little bit more circular. Let's bring it down there. Scale on the Z. Hit 3. Ooh, no. There we go. Just inset it with I. And you definitely want to be careful on the bottom here. You don't want these to cross over. E to extrude. And then I just added an arch. How I did that... What did I use? I used the spin tool. Made sure that it was going along the y-axis. So along this, nope. You gotta be kidding me. Bring it up one. Why isn't that working? Yeah, it'll work before. Either way, actually this could work too. We'll try that as a different one. And what we'll do, we'll just dissolve these. Come on. Not these. Alright, let's try dissolving the edges. Yeah, that's looking like a Funkmaster 2000. We'll just stick with what we got. Alright. So after I did that, then I just put in my edges. This is going to be separate. This right here, oh. Down here at the base, same thing. And then we just got to unwrap it. Should be in UV. And this is going to mess with when we want to go and, you know, texture or paint our object. So what we got to do, well, first things first, let's get these so that just this will disable sync, rectify, not this. So that it's flat no matter where you paint on it now. There's going to be no stretching. As for these, why did it have to unwrap like that? Okay. Yeah. It's about right. Oh. We'll move this up here. That way we can bring... Because this is where our texture is going to be. And it doesn't matter if it's 512 by 512, 1024, or 2048. Obviously, when we go to make our textures... Hey, what's up, Indy? How are you, man? Late night. Just gonna bring that down. Maybe we can scale it just a little bit more. Because as soon as you go over this edge, it's gonna repeat on the bottom. What are you up to, Diddy? Alright, got that. Good. And let's see what this would look like with a light, so to speak. We'll do a spotlight. Alright, so now that we have that, size 45, power, we'll do 1000 watts. Now this obviously is not the same shape as the light. So, we're gonna scale on the y-axis. And with this, I mean, we can add an emission shader, but at this point, I'm guessing that's how it's gonna look. So let's import that. Come on. Yeah, it's about right. There we go. Delete that and get rid of our camera. And let's save it and we'll export. Can be an OBJ, doesn't matter. So let's make it an OBJ. No, I'm going with FBX. Well, there's no animations to it. see, my game, models, Blender models, street light. Alright, export, no PBR extensions. Yeah. Normals, UV. I mean, we don't need normals. Alright, up axis is Y. No. No animation. There we go. Should be enough. Let's bring this up. Street light, future. Y is up. Import. Export. Looks like we're doing FBX after all. Don't need that. Alright, get rid of this. Gotta make a concrete. I think I already made concrete. Oh. Sidewalk paneling, axe, wood, copper, perf, subway tile? No. Pillar? No. This is why you always keep everything in the same folder. Okay. Well, let's start off. I'm gonna give it one. How would be a good way to do this? Brick generator. And then we'll just change the offset. Rotate it 45 degrees. Maybe. Let's see. Gotta make it 2D. And now we can change my kid. Why is she still up? Alright, so we're gonna rotate that at a 45-degree angle. There's a couple different ways. Let's zoom in. So after we do that, then you just scale in. And we don't want it to overlap because things start to get a lot of bit weird. Make sure there's no jolts. Wow, did I get that spot on? Normally that doesn't happen. 1.43, 1.445. No. 6, no. 5. Oh. .42 works because you could see it actually coming apart. Now instead of tiling that 2 times, we're just going to increase this twice. So 12 and 12. And that should give us more. Alright. Rotation is key. Angles are key. Got that. Let's see what this looks like. I want this to pop out and have this like the glowing. So I'm going to invert it. And chances are I'm going to end up taking out that invert and I'm going to put it back in. I'm going to take it out. Just in and out, you know. You're always tweaking with it. Oh, wait a minute. No. Where are we? No. There we go. Alright. I was wondering why that sounded like that. Alright. So now that we have this like this, actually let's throw on some crazy techno music. Royalty free synthwave music. Mixtape royalty free for Twitch, copyright free. Boom. Thank you, White Bad Audio. Or not. There we go. There. Anyways. So, I was able to take this, put it into transform, put it on 45-degree angle, because when I take right here, I kind of want that to be, I guess, looking the best that I can. So, actually, what are the sound levels? That's not too bad. Bring it down just a smidge. Alright, here we go. So this needs to be inverted because, again, I want this part to pop up. I want this to be below it. So we're just going to throw in an invert. And that, it does exactly what it says. It inverts the colors. Works best with black and white or like blue. Was it blue and red? What's opposite of red? Either way, it makes it opposite. Now, if we were to take a height map and throw that up, it's going to shoot it up way up. Which we kind of want, but not that much. So the best way to control it is actually with a map range. So we're going to change this right here. The output minimum, if we bring it all the way up, it drops the bottom part even more. We want to take the top down. So output minimum is what we want. Now, if we had the output maximum, it'll drop the top down. Which we kind of want something right in the middle. And this for right now, if we take this off and throw the color in there, it's going to cover the whole thing black, but we want it yellow, like a yellow hue. Now, we want to get this, actually this, and we want the yellow here and then keep the black lines. We can always change them later. So, blend isn't too bad. And then we can plug that right in. Because again, all we're doing is we're just painting that on. Now, it's getting kind of rickety. So, we can either smooth it out. And the best way to smooth it is, I guess, make it blurry. So I'm just going to blur this. That's a lot. And if we do that, it's smoothed out a little bit. but we have right here, kind of looks like it's popping out, which isn't too bad. And this right here usually has those little bumps, I guess. So, with those bumps, we gotta make them. Let's grab a circle and bring the radius way down. Now that the radius is way the heck down, we can mess with it a little bit. Let's do some fractal noise. And that's another blend that we can blend in. Not bad. Now I want to take that and I want to change it. Let's get this over here for right now. I'm gonna bring up the scale a lot more. And then of course we can bring up our radius. And I want to kind of make these go in a row, a pattern like this, like what we did with the brick generation. So we got to make it a 2D, meaning you take this and it's no longer whatever this picture was, it is now just a 2D picture. It's the same thing as importing. If we were to save this as a picture file, this is what that would be. I find that easy to do if you have too many nodes going on, the computer starts to slow down. It's good to save this and then import it again. So now that I have that, I want to take that and I want to blur it. I probably should blur it first. No, let's just tile it for right now. We can do the tile sampler. There we go. Now we can bring up our row count and we can bring up 15 and 15 just for right now. I can bring up the scale. And that'll bring up the scale on the tile sampler. But because it's a tile sampler, we could also have a regular tile. And the difference between tiling and the tile sampler is tile, we'll tile it. Well, we can change the offset. But that'll do up to 20. You could always type them in too. Let's do exactly the same so we can see the difference. 15 and 15. So as is, these two are pretty much exactly the same. That's 15, that's 15. Except right here, well, we could put the offset over. Now with the tile sampler, what I can do is I can go to my rotation. Whereas right here, there's no rotation. And the random rotation, it'll... Notice how it's randomly rotating them so that they're all not going in the same direction. We can also bring up random intensity. Kind of give some a fade look to them. Now if we do random position, it starts going all wacky. And then we'll just crank it a little bit. Now just about every single one is different. I do like the tile sampler better, so I'm going to use that. This goes here. That goes into this one. I'm going to blend these two together. After the blur. And because I'm using two what I call dynamic parts, I'm going to Instead of blending them, I'm going to mask them. Notice how one's over the other? That one is now on the inside. We don't want either of that. That's not bad. But we probably want that after the invert. So let's mask it over here. Plug this into B. What would this look like on the height? Things start getting hairy. That's why I use 2048. You're always going to see it a lot better. Let's unplug this. It feels like it's not showing up, right? But it is. So let's stick with this for right now. Probably should invert it first. And this is what I mean about constantly taking it out and putting it back in. You're always inverting stuff. And because we inverted it... There we go. That is exactly what I want. What would this look like? Opacity. So I'm going to bring up the scale on the circle itself. Not really what I was going for, but actually that looks a lot better. Let's tile it a couple times. Tile it even more. Where is the nighttime? Oh. So the back is what we want glowing. Let's add an emission shader. All right, we got that. Oh, no kidding. Print screen. I love print screen buttons. Live stream. Let's go here. Edit. I gotta change this because it is not Rust. There we go. There we go. Now that we got that. That doesn't look too bad. But we want this bottom part to glow. I definitely don't... Alright, let's drop the scale down. I mean, the other thing that I could do too... Yeah, that's not gonna work. Alright, so let's change the color of this. To a more offset. This one will go to the bottom, and then I can plug this in to the second one. Oh, I see. It's because one's dusting the other one out. There we go. It's gonna make it funky, but it gets the point across. Let's bring our blend down. There we go. Not bad. And unfortunately, because it is 2048, we gotta calm this way down. So we gotta bring... that down and that up. Now, as for this, I could throw that in as well. Now that kind of defeats the purpose of this. Let's see how this looks. At night. That looks like it's going pretty good. Alright. Control S to save, and we're gonna call this light future bump and I'm gonna change the export to my C drive, my models, or is it my game? Oh man. This is why Doc didn't get my finished product, is because I ended up deleting. Oh, that's right, I have Wintermute. That's where I put it. Okay, crap. Son of a baby. Okay. Anyways, LMNO. My game. Models. my textures, select folder, export, that's fine. Textures exported successfully. Let's jump back into here then. And we can go ahead, we can add a new, no, we're backing up. Images, import image. My game, models, my textures, and I'm just gonna choose all these bad boys. And what I like about, what am I in? Texture creator? What? Texture maker? What the heck am I using? Texture lab. Derp. Here's fill 1. It automatically, I don't have to jump in and do anything really different. What is this? This is height. So height is displacement. Metalness goes underneath metallic. Normal. And then roughness, which we didn't mess with those too much. Four by 4. It does everything 4 by 4. Beautiful. Now this, in fact, is the bottom right here. So what we'll do is we don't want the edges, we just want that right there. I am going to do right click, add a black mask, and then I can paint it right on. Now the hardness, I'm gonna jack up so that wherever I paint, it's exactly like that. We don't want any spacing, so it's a nice smooth flow. Just like the happy little trees. Alright, go around here. And then eraser. We'll just erase it. Now, there is a more simple way I can do this. And that, in fact, is by jumping back here, hitting tab, and we're gonna go right there, Control E. I'm gonna mark that as a seam too. Unwrap, works for me. Let's go back into UV editing. And yeah, we gotta redo a few things. Hit W, hold Control to get rid of these little guys. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and rectify that. I can bring this down here, scale it up. And if you zoom in, you can actually see that that is disconnected from, oh, G. That should be disconnected from everything else. I can make that a rectangle too, but because it is circular, you don't want to mess with it. Just kind of leave it how it is unwrapped. So I'm going to scale this up. Bring this down. Really doesn't matter too much about this, just because, I mean, it just doesn't. right here, that's going to be a focal point because people are going to be up looking at it. So the bigger the area, the more detail you can put into it. And I'm pretty sure without a doubt, Yep, that's that right there. So we're gonna hit Control S to save it, because again, we could just redo this again real quick if it's that big of a deal. And then I'm just gonna export it again as an FBX. Same thing. Export file. This should now come up. File. Open project. No. New item. Yeah, let's just close this. No, cancel. We're gonna just do a new item file, new item. Streetlight, import, models. Oh. FBX. There it is. Let's try this again. Albedo. Displacement. 0.5 to 5. Metalness. Underneath metallic. Normal goes with the normal. And our roughness with the roughness. And then of course, add a black mask. Then I can just choose the fill, click on that, and I'm done. But let's go back to this. We're gonna bring up the scale 4x4. Back here again. And there we go. Refilled it. Let's mess with this a little bit. This has been saved. File, new. We need to make a metal. And what I'm gonna do there is I'm just gonna take this. I'm gonna jack up the X, bring down the Y. Oh. Or not. Gradient, some fractal noise. Let's mix these two together. We'll mix a bunch of noise together. Hell, we'll throw value noise in there. And, yeah, why not? We'll just blend these all together. So we're gonna need 1, 2, 3 blends. 1, 2. So A, B, because again, this is just metal. That's gonna be terrible for... Let's do this. And for something like this, probably invert it. Alright, so we got that. We'll do a cell. We'll scale it up. And we'll blend these two as well. Throw that onto the roughness. Bring that down to a grayer level. Or grayer layer. The grayer layer. I don't like the seams. That's a problem. So we're gonna have to rethink about what we're doing here. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to rethink this. I'm gonna try something else. Take that out, blast up the scale. We're gonna bring this down to transform. And let's scale this on the Y. And we'll add in another one. Do the same thing. Again, can't go to 0. Great. Looks so much different further away. We are going to bring down oh crap, what am I doing? Not bad. Let's blur it. And by blurring it, it kind of smudges. So now with that blurred, God, I'm making a mess here. We haven't even gotten into the color yet. We gotta drag that over here. Okay, now with this, what we need to do I should have done that. And you can't really see the brakes, or at least not too much. And this is only 1024. Let's boost it up to 2048. So much better. Did I make this 2048 or did it automatically? No. Let's take this blend and we're gonna mask one color right over the other one. Two different types of gray. So we got gray, lighter color, and then we'll do our much darker color. Plug one in, cover up the other. So what we can do now, see how you can see it repeat? We gotta fix that. I think it's the normal. Yeah, this is fine. This, however, well, even that's okay. Let's tile it. Or blur it. We can blur it. And we'll just jack up the intensity of the blur. Or we can bring down our samples. There we go. All right. What would this look like with the height? Well, that would look like a complete disaster. Though I think we agreed this doesn't look too bad. So we'll just kind of put a clamp on it by using map range. And from there we can lighten it up this way and bring up our input minimum. Something about that I don't like. Transform 2D. And then we're gonna tile this. Not bad. So now that we have this, we'll just call it. We can always come back to it. Main thing is save as. We'll call this metal. Even though it doesn't totally look like metal, but right, gotta export it. Models, my textures, select folder, down here in the bottom right, exported, there they are. Open, and we'll just do a brand new one. Underneath fill 2. Height would be displacement. We got our metalness, or our metallic, our normal. And then our roughness. It kind of looks... yeah. But we can have it repeat more. So we'll just jack the scaling up more. And then our displacement, as always, we gotta back out and hit it again. And we can always bring down our roughness value. Bring that up. We probably should smooth that out. In fact, I know we should smooth that out. But we'll right click here, add a black mask to it, so we have the actual light that we made. I gotta get rid of those dots as well. Let's hit our fill button. We'll do right around here. Nobody's gonna be seeing the top because when you're walking underneath the straight light, this should be concrete right here. Now I hit that, we're gonna do Control Z and just do the bottom. By clicking on whatever's on the UV over here, it changes it. So let's change the roughness now. Go to paint. And I'm gonna go back over to the texture. Go over to the roughness. And because we're changing it, it's changing on demand. So we're gonna go up here. We could do the same thing with the metallic. How metal-like it is. So I'm gonna drop that. I'm gonna bring up the roughness. And we already have materials in here. I could take copper. Come on. And I can generate the ambient occlusion. Drop that in. And now I have an AO map. I don't like that metal though. You know what? The heck with it. Boop. Oh, right. Boop. Yeah, we definitely need to change that. I've made so much more, or so much better metal maps. This could be used for something else though. But we'll do a new one. And let's get back into what would be good for that. Not Pearlian. Let's squeeze this down. No. Simplex noise, maybe? Bring up the scale, change it to 2D, and then sharpen the heck out of that. Do they have any metal? But they do for the copper. Now this comes pre-built with it to give an example. I mean, that's kind of what I was doing. Oh, fractal noise. Good idea. Y scale. Boom. Alright. Why didn't I think of fractal noise? Alright. Y scale up, X all the way down. And then just scale it about yay much. No. Metal. Let's add this in here because that's derp. So fractal noise. Not bad. Let's add a blur over here. So we don't even need... We don't need these. Don't need that. In fact... Wow. It's amazing just looking at one example what you can get. That normal is out of control right there. That is unacceptable, Mr. Normal. Alright. Much better. So what map range is used for... Now that's super spiky. It acts as a clamp. Let's bring the minimum up and the maximum down. And then when you look at it, you can barely see it, so it does change the height. That's so much better. Let's give this a lighter color up here. And we will change this as a street light. Roughness. Not too bad. Alright. Save. Let's see if it switches with it. Probably not. Yeah. Unfortunately not. So we'll just add another one. And go back into our images. File, save as Metal 2. What I did was the first time is I kind of made that should have been concrete. This needs to be stretched instead of compressed together. And then we'll just drag that on the X some more. You know what? I'm feeling lucky. We're gonna do it again. Hopefully it doesn't repeat. And then we'll just huck these right into here. Here. It's starting to look more like metal. Right up into the normal. So let's clamp some of these with a map range. Because, yeah, Roughness, eh. Give it more of a shiny metal look. That looks more like scratched up metal. In fact, I'm very pleased with that. File, save, and we're just gonna tap export. My texture is perfect. Alright, so let's bring in Metal 2. Metal 2. All the way to there. We're gonna open. This is right here. Fill 3. Metal 2. Albedo. Our height goes underneath displacement. And again, take 0.5 and hit 0.5 again. Metal 2 metalness. Metallic. Our normal. And then our roughness. Crap. 2048. There we go. So file, save, and then same thing. We're just going to re-export it. So we brought it up. We'll go here, Metal 2, delete. Oh, we can't delete it. Alright, import. Metal 2. All the way down there, open. Roughness, that's metal. Metal 2 metalness, underneath the metallic. Metal 2 height, displacement. Metal 2 normal, just in case. Do that again. Alright, not bad for scratched metal. What we can do is, what do we have here? Fill 2. Add a black mask. Control Z. So now that we have this, let's rotate this. And we're going to rotate it 90 degrees. Wait, right? Yeah, derp, 90 degrees. Because this is the first one. Alright, and we'll call this scratched. Let's bring down the opacity. So opacity is coming way down, spacing none, hardness is all the way up. So whatever we paint, it goes straight on. That's not bad. How does that look here? And that's covering that one. Metallic. Now I can bring up how metallic it is. And roughness right from here. Now we can either go back onto painting it, or we can hit fill and just tap the whole thing. Now notice how where I painted over it, it looks rougher in some spots. That's because I painted over it first. Just make sure that the opacity is down again. This is still filled. And then we'll do it once, twice. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to make sure there's nothing on there. Now we'll fill it in. And we'll do it again. Let's go back down to this one and we're going to rotate this as well. So instead of going up and down, we'll have it go around. And we do that by clicking on the texture itself and rotate it by 90 degrees. Oh. Oh, right, because there's one underneath it. There we go. Now this going into the edge here and over, there's a trick to get rid of that, but that looks way too scratched up. Let's go back over here. That filled in everything literally because we had clicked on it. So fill 3, add black mask. Fill 2. We don't want any of this filled whatsoever, so we're gonna hit eraser. Especially not this. And the opacity has to go all the way up. And then that'll be our light. And we can always add our emission shaders in. There we go. Now we can go back up to fill 3. Make sure the rotation is 90 degrees. And we can go ahead, paint it, make sure it's on fill, and just click that one right there. Control Z, because we brought up the opacity, we want it to go down. There we go. 1, 2, 3. That's how the light looks reflecting off it. And this is just the base start too. So we can start adding other smoothness to it. Let's go to generate AO. I'm gonna trash that AO. And we can just start painting on the top a little bit. So the displacement here, I think I'm going to bring down. We'll leave the displacement alone. That wouldn't look bad for a tree either. Let's smooth this out. I'm gonna jack up the metallicness. Yep. Opacity, right? Yeah. Not bad. Now those can be squeezed a lot closer together. In fact, we should probably change that again. This is a good idea, or a good way to get an idea how your textures are actually going to look on that. This also, let's mess with this. Instead of 4, we're going to do, click it. We'll do 8. And then same thing, back, 8. Alright, not bad. So file, save, file, export. New folder. Finish test. Street light. Start export. Done. Now we jump back into this, and all we gotta do is new material, image texture, my textures, finish test, street light, albedo, whichever. Gonna hit tab. We'll go into material preview. And we're gonna jump into shading. Now keep in mind, whatever it looks like in Blender, it very well may not look that way in the Unreal Engine. Now I'm going to hit Control and Spacebar to blow up my view. And then Shift and D, Shift and D, Shift and D. Open. That's our normal. Open. There's our roughness. And roughness goes right into roughness. This will be our metallic. See how this looks so far. Getting there. Let's go back over to our normal map. We're gonna search for normal map. And I can plug this right into here. Now I can always start painting on other things that I make, like boxes, junction boxes, whatnot. But there is the height. We could mess with the height map. So shift search for a bump map. Which if we plug that in, no. Click on this, Shift and D. And we'll just open this up to displacement. We're gonna scale this by 10. And I'm going to bring up my spotlight and G on the X. And then I'm going to rotate it on the Y-axis, kind of bring this out. I'm going to click down here, scale this on the Y so that it stretches it out, because we want to give it that illusion. And we will do... Well, we gotta change to 1000 color. Now that we chose this, I'm going to go back into here, and right here I'm going to add a new material. Back into shading. New. Control C on this. Go down here. Material 1. Control V. We'll just delete that. And then you know what? Let's add an emission shader with a mix. So Shift and A, emission, and then mix shader. Slap one into here, slap the other one here, make it yellow, hit tab, this one, and this is regular material. So down here, material 01, we're going to assign it. There we go. And that's probably because our emission strength is so cranked up. Go into the layout. We're going to add a camera. Hit F12, and then we can start messing with the camera functions. Alright, not bad. Not good, but not bad either. We're in layout. We are in layout. I'm going to go down to our rendering. Instead of 64, we're going to do 64 times 2, which is 128. We're going to add some bloom, screen splash reflections. Can add volumetrics, but alright. Let's see how this looks. $19.20. Double it. Let's try this again. So I don't see any cuts or anything where we put it in. That's what I was testing, was sometimes you'll see the seams where we unwrap it right here. I was just doing something quick. It worked out, which I'm very happy for. Everything folded quite nicely, actually, if you ask me. And I don't know how long the stream's been going. What? Oh god, I don't know how long I've been. An hour? Hour and a half to get it all set up. So if you already have the textures that you're working for and you're reusing it, you could probably get this done pretty quickly. I'm not done with this, and I'm definitely not going to use it at the moment, but it would make a great placeholder. So I am happy with that. I am going to download the Unreal Engine, put that in Unreal, but I have other stuff to make too, like sidewalks, buildings. I did have other textures. I gotta rearrange everything. But when I finally get everything done, I'm gonna go from, and I gotta figure out a cool model to make. Something that's simple, that, not this, I don't know what the hell this is. Something a little bit more futuristic looking. And this is all in Eevee too. So that's not too bad, actually. I seem to be pretty happy with it. But again, used 100% free tools. Here, let's go here. I don't know why this isn't blooming or blurring though. That definitely has to come down. That would actually look better as a bulb. I should have done a bulb. Yeah, not bad. But that's how you go from Texture Lab into, well, from Blender to make the model, to Texture Lab to making the texture, applying the texture with Agma, and then back into Blender again. I mean, you're jumping through, but once you get it done, that wouldn't look bad with like a square light that you see that. Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple different things that we can do. It was just quick. Now I add that model. I can add it to other things. Make a gooky little world. Yeah, all done for free. So, alrighty. As always, thank you very much. It's pretty much the end of the stream. Thank you for watching. Or stopping in.